Hi, I'm Kate Allen. I'm a radio show host at K-Talk Radio, and you can listen to my show at The Kate Allen Show. We're here at the Walk in Their Shoes event, which is for prevention of domestic violence. In the state of Utah, 1 out of 3 women, that's right, 1 out of 3 women will be domestically abused that reports. We have a lot of women and men here at the event today who are willing to speak up and share their message that they have regarding domestic violence. So please take a listen right here. Hi, I'm here with Summer. What is your message that you want to share about domestic violence?
Some people think that it's not their problem, and I just like to say it's everybody's problem. It impacts communities, generations. If you're a neighbor, if you're a teacher, if you're a police officer, a nurse, there's no one that domestic violence does not touch. Some people like to ignore it, they like to turn their face, but it is everybody's problem.
It's a lot more common than most people realize. It's insidious. It creeps into relationships. And if you find yourself in that experience, you need to feel like you're not alone. Isolation is the enemy, and reaching out to get support is the key to survival.
So it sounds like the key is reaching out for support.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Domestic violence affects everybody, whether we want to admit it or not. Someone we know and care about has been affected or been a victim and has been abused. So it's important that we acknowledge that and not stick our heads in the sand.
My message to the world is to come from a space of love, kindness, generosity, be understanding, be helpful, be supportive to those who reach out for help.
That sounds perfect. I heard no judgment in there.
None whatsoever, none needed.
I think it's something that needs to be addressed, and that I think that the sooner that you can address it, whether it be talking to friends, family, a therapist in a safe place, the sooner you can start the healing process. For me, it was a long process. It was something that took years before I could really get any acknowledgement for it. And, you know, the more that you can have the more support that you have that allows you to validate your experience, the easier it becomes. So find those people, create that circle if you need to, of people who will support you.
Domestic violence is an issue that has touched my family, has touched many families. Unfortunately, my sister died from her abuser, who was her husband. And so I think that for me, I'm such a private person that I don't like to talk about it. But on the other hand, if people when I tell them that, they're shocked. And so the more I tell people about my sister's story, and I have, spoken a lot at schools and other venues, hopefully the more I'm able to reach someone who may be in a situation where they can get out alive, and that's what we want.
I would just like survivors of domestic violence who have left their partners or who have left the home, who have not sought help, who sit at home and have nightmares, who have weird things to them that bother them and that set them off, and they don't know why it's happening, to know that they can still get help, that there are people out there who will understand why the doorbell ringing causes panic, why their kids not calling back within 30 seconds causes panic, that there are people out there who will understand that, and it's not too late to seek help and to get help and to find support so that you can truly move on in your life.
All I can say is that it's a painful experience. You don't know how it feels, the violation, until you've been there. My sister was murdered And every time the news comes on and talks about any type of violence, it just stabs. It's like reopening the wound again every single time. And I think the laws need to be stronger for the perpetrators. And it's just painful to watch the family deteriorate because it's so painful.
Well, I would like people to see the list of Facebook friends that they have and how many of them are girls under 18. How many girls do you have in your family, nieces or your daughters? Well, 1 out of 3 will be a victim of domestic abuse. So it is a big problem and we need to get involved and we need to eradicate it from our own homes and our community and then our country.
Hi, I'm here with Amora, and what message do you want to share with everyone regarding domestic violence?
It's time for you to knock that shit off.
All right, there you have it. I'm really excited. I'm here with Brandy Farmer and Justin Boardman, and both of them have just won awards here at the Walk in Their Shoes event on prevention of domestic violence. And I'm just so excited because you guys are really movers and shakers in our community here in Utah. So first of all, let's see the prize. I want to hear you show it off.
All right, here's the prize. So Converse size 10s that were hand painted beautifully, and they've got all sorts of representation from my life and my career, and it's just really exciting. It's an honor. It's fun. I love it.
So now you can definitely wear these.
Oh, I could definitely wear these, and I will on special occasions.
So just for everyone out there, Justin Boardman, he is actually a detective for sex crimes in West Valley City. But then also you have different specialties from strangulation to a whole wide assortment. What are some of the specialties that you have?
Child sex assault, mental trauma, adult sexual assault, domestic violence, let's see, strangulation. There's a lot of different icky things like that.
The icky things, but at the same time, you've been able to, this last year, make some really big headway with some things that you've changed.
Yeah, we have. We've been very lucky, and things seem to be working out very well. The police department's been very supportive, West Valley City has, on some of the things that we've been able to implement. And then across the country, been very receptive. I've been all over the country teaching this year with my
And what are you teaching?
The neurobiology of sexual trauma. That sounds really weird and really big. It's big words, and cops don't usually like big words. We like 4-letter words and bright colors. So to get that down a little bit, that is like how your brain works when the crap hits the fan.
Well, I think this is so helpful. And then Brandy Farmer, you have been a huge advocate for over 30 years in not only helping survivors, but then also changing laws locally too.
Right. Locally and national, and also educating. I'm a domestic violence prevention specialist, and people ask me, what does that mean? It means that I do education, and so I write curriculum for all professions. I've also traveled all over the country, speaking at conferences, sometimes being the keynote speaker. One of the things that I was doing many years ago, I started the first training for healthcare providers here about their responsibility to report domestic violence, because they're the only ones who are mandated to report. Victims get kicked, slapped, they get punched in the face, they get punched in the head. The head, yes. Pulled by the hair, slammed against the wall and the floor. And so it's just, one of those things that it was really important. People were not talking about that many years ago. And
then now we've completely changed a lot of things in the state with both of you working on this, because now it's become part of the normalcy in West Valley City and Provo. And I am hoping we have some other cities that are jumping on board too.
We do have a few out there, but slow progress.
So what can we do to get more police chiefs on board to be trained in this neurobiology of trauma and sex crimes?
That would be talking out and getting involved in your community and getting involved with your city council.
So it sounds like really now it's up to us, all the citizens of the state, to say, hey, you know what? Hey, elected officials, city council, we need to change this, and we need to have this training put in place because there's too much domestic violence and sexual violence. Well, I want to thank you guys so much, first of all, for letting me interview you, but then also for being champions in our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you need help or you know someone who needs help for domestic violence or sexual violence, please see the numbers that are on the screen. There's help 24/7. Please call now. There are a lot of survivors, and please do not be afraid. There is help available and there are resources available, and we want you to be as well and healed as possible. Please reach out and please call the number below.